All right, Dandavat Pranams. So we're continuing our Vilap Kusumanjali discussions. We memorized the first verse and discussed it for a few days. Then we memorized the second verse and discussed it also. And we started discussing the third verse, and we're going to go into more depth discussing the commentary of Srila Gurudev and Prabhuji, the Vaishnavas. So we'll memorize all the different varieties of services that the Manjaris performed Srimati Radhika. The first 16 verses, 17 verses are about the prayers of longing of Raghunath Das Goswami. He's praying, longing for the service of Radhika. And then after that, he starts to describe in a very detailed way all the different kinds of services that the Manjaris perform to Radhika, from the morning till evening and in the night time, how they're serving in the Ras Leela pastimes, and then all the way from the morning, how they help serve Radhika in the Kunj with Krishna, in Nishanta Leela, and then how after Nishanta Leela, the early morning pastimes, before dawn, then they serve her when she goes back to Javat. They help prepare her bath, they help undress and massage, give oil massage and bathe Srimati Radhika, then dress Srimati Radhika, decorate Srimati Radhika with different kinds of designs, to give different kinds of minerals and ointments. It's very sweet descriptions of services. Then how they help prepare her for going to Nandagram, Nanda Bhavan, where she will cook, how they help lead her on the pathway. Rati Manjari prays to help hold Radhika's waist from behind, and Rupa Manjari is leading her. Then she prays how she will serve in Nanda Bhavan, helping prepare the ingredients to cook in the kitchen and helping to prepare the kitchen. Before that, she also prays that she wants to help clean Javat, Radhika's home where she lives after she was married to Abhimanyu. They want to clean the kitchen, clean the drains, and also dry it with their hair. You can imagine they have very silky hair. Sometimes if hair is very nice and silky but doesn't absorb so much. But the hair in Braj is so lush and also silky, but also very rich, that it can also be used to do this. But still, even though they have such nice hair, they want to engage in such simple service like cleaning Radhika's drains and then drying the drain. So this is their prayer. And then in Nanda Bhavan, they want to help serve by preparing different ingredients for cooking. If you look at our activities in the Mutt, what we're trying to do is absorb our minds in this internal Braj Seva, and then externally we engage our bodies also. There's a famous verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. He says that Seva Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena Chatrahi. That with your sadhaka body, this means the body of a practitioner, you should engage in seva, service. But seva is many kinds. So we should engage in seva that is favorable to obtaining our aspired goal of service in Braj. So we see services that we're performing, there's different kinds of services. Some services are considered very closely connected to Nitya Seva. And these are specifically the cooking seva, making garland seva, also serving any form of serving the deities. Why? How are we serving the deities here every day? We undress the deities, we give them an oil massage, then we bathe them, then we again dress them. These are the services that the gopis pray to do to Radhika and Krishna. The Manjaris are praying, may I be able to serve Radhika in her room, undressing, massaging, again dressing, giving designs, decoration, giving garlands. So these kinds of services, and then making garlands. Why? The gopis are always picking flowers, making garlands for Krishna and for Radharani also. And then preparing the kunj, that means when we are decorating the temple, putting up all these decorations we always do during festivals, or decorating the altar. This is one kind of kunj seva. This is under the guidance of Lalita. Lalita is in charge of making the kunj. So when we are decorating the temple, we are serving under guidance of Lalita and making the kunj. So Prabhuji is very merciful to give us this facility where we have a chance to enter into this internal absorption in Braj Seva while also being absorbed with our body. Seva Sadhaka Rupena, with the sadhak body, we do seva that's connected to our aspiration in Braj. So Siddha Rupena Chatra, he means we meditate on our Siddha Rup, which means our spiritual perfected form in Braj. We don't artificially imagine that. Gurudev says in his commentary to Vilapkusumanjali that this is not imagination. You don't speculate like this is my form. If it's not realized, then you shouldn't speculate, oh, I'm in this form and I'm serving in this way. We're not trying to speculate like that. This should be spontaneously realized through the cultivation of sadhan, bhakti. When you come to the siddha stage, then automatically you realize this is my swarup, this is my seva, this is my age, this is where I live, these are my relatives, this is my group of manjaris under the guidance of Lalita or the other Astasakis. But we can artificially do this. But Gurudev said also we shouldn't think this is imagination, that maybe we're not on that level where we've realized our siddha form, but still we can meditate on these services that Raghunath Das Goswami is praying to achieve. We don't have to artificially conceive that we are there. This is not like we are not thinking, oh, I am there right now doing this, and this is my form, and this is what I look like, and this is my age. We don't artificially speculate about that. But our Goswamis have given us these books, which is like a guide or a roadmap of the varieties of service and engagements we can achieve in Braj. So that's why Vilap Kusumanjali is so special, because in Vilap Kusumanjali he gives a detailed description of all the different kinds of services the manjaris can perform. How not only to Radhika but also their relationship with Krishna. The first verse in Vilap Kusumanjali is about the relationship with Krishna, and how that sweet relationship with Krishna is there in Parakiya Ras, even in Manjari Bhav. And then the second verse is further describing the relation with Krishna and the connection between Radhika and Krishna and the gopis and manjaris. And then the third verse also describes how they are serving in Ras Leela. The third verse describes how they're serving in Ras Leela. When Radhika loses her mekhala, they will fetch it for her, and Rati will put the mekhala back on Radhika's waist after Krishna took it off. So it describes all these kinds of sweet services, and we can remember these pastimes as described by Gurudev and Raghunath Das Goswami and our acharyas. That's not imagination, because Gurudev said these pastimes are factual. We think this world, everything that we see is real, but actually this is temporary or asat. It is mundane and temporary, and it will quickly fade out of existence. And then the matter will re-aggregate into some other form. That's temporary. But that world is eternal, and these pastimes are eternal and also eternally variegated. Means they're eternally evolving or eternally manifesting in newer and newer ways. So to remember these pastimes as given by our Goswamis and Gurudev is not imagination. And this is our process to develop. So we do seva, and then we also siddha rupena chatrahi. We meditate on these pastimes, we read these books, and while we're doing services, then we can chant and remember and try to absorb ourselves deeper and deeper in Braj Leela. That's our process. It said, Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrahi, tad bhava lipsuna karya, braja lok anusarata. Maybe we can memorize this verse today. It said, braja lok anusarata means following the Brajabasis. That means braja lok. This means, anusarata means in the wake of or following those who are the Brajabasis. Their types of services. So that's why we're very fortunate that Prabhuji is giving us a chance to learn these kinds of services that are done in Braj. Cooking, cleaning. We shouldn't think, oh, cleaning the temple is a very low, menial service. Even the manjaris are praying, let me clean and serve and clean the drains and dry them with my own hair. And cooking in the kitchen, we should not think, oh, cutting vegetables, rolling chapatis, this is some kind of very low service, and now I am a big scholar or a big preacher and I don't want to do these low services. But even we can see Prabhuji, who is such a advanced, also aged Vaishnav, in his 60s now, every day he's cooking not only for Thakurji but for hundreds of devotees. In Braj, Radhika doesn't cook just for Krishna. Yashoda doesn't cook just for Krishna. Radhika cooks for everyone. For Krishna takes prasad and then everyone takes. Yashoda, Rohini, they cook and give Krishna and then everyone takes. And even Krishna first feeds the Sakas, first feeds the sadhus, the Brahmins, and then he takes, first feeds Nanda Baba. So the hearts of the devotees are always very broad. So we see Prabhuji, he's doing this cooking seva. So the point is we shouldn't think these are a small opportunity. Now also, if we have very high vision, we can see like Param Gurudev. When Param Gurudev was overseeing court cases, the judge one time told him, "Oh, alas, my whole life I've been spending in these mundane court cases, and I wish I could have done more bhajan." But Param Gurudev replied, "I think these court cases are bhakti and bhajan." So the thing is, if you are a bhakta, everything becomes bhakti. If you're not a bhakta, whatever you do is karma. If you're a real bhakta, if you really have love for Krishna, then Krishna says, "Yat karosi yadasyasi yat tarasi yat tapasvasi kunte atat krusva madarpanam." Do everything for me. Manmanabha bhakto. A devotee is really doing that. Everything is for Krishna. Therefore, whatever they're doing, wherever they're going, it is only for Krishna's pleasure, and that is Uttama Bhakti. So for Param Gurudev, he's in a court case, involved in litigation, but he said this is Bhakti, and this is Bhajan. And then he told the story of, in Braj, how the gopis filed a court case against Krishna, and then Krishna had his advocates, the Sakas, and then there was the judge, and then the gopis had their advocates, and they had this debate, and Krishna was defeated, and then they put Krishna in Radhika's prison and made him pay the fine, and made him also swear that he would never be disloyal to Shrimati Radhika. So Param Gurudev said even court cases can be bhakti, but it's a question of how much are we absorbed in Guru Seva and our connection to Braj. Param Gurudev was doing the court cases, but he was still connected to Braj and remembering Braj. So therefore for him this is bhakti. We can say, no, I'll go and do a court case, but we have no bhakti, no connection. Then where is the real Raganuga Bhakti? A Raganuga Bhakta engaged in court cases is doing Raganuga Bhakti. This is the mystery, that even a Raganuga Bhakta is engaged in so-called material activities, but still, because of their internal absorption, they're doing Raganuga Bhakti. So we want to come to this level. So Prabhuji is giving all these kinds of services, but then there are many other services. We're doing publication services. But even in Braj, we shouldn't think that the gopis are never writing dramas or plays or poetry or songs. You think they never write dramas? Like this world is somehow more wonderful than that world. In this world we have Shakespeare, and that world, Lalita is more qualified than billions of Shakespeares. All the Sakis are writing, some of the Sakis' specific seva is to write dramas, to write plays. So even in this kind of service we can be absorbed in our aspired Nitya Seva. And this is also, book seva is also very special. Param Gurudev said that book seva is non-different from, even he said Harinam Seva. He said because the Granta is like Harinam Swarup also, one Swarup of Harinam, and it's the Brihad Mridanga, so it's also Sankirtan and Kirtan, and if we're doing it properly, this is also a very high class of seva. And it's also the Manobishta Seva of Mahaprabhu, because it's the way to expand the glory of Braj and bring more jivas into the service of the gopis and the Brajbasis. So you're recruiting more people, but ultimately what are we teaching in the books? To do these kinds of Braj Seva, to come, to serve Thakurji, to make garlands, to clean, to cook. These are all the services we're teaching. We're not teaching some other process. We're not teaching that the goal of life is to be a scholar. When in Guru Darshan there's a story where Gurudev was giving a lecture at the opening of a Bhagavad Gita temple in South India. And Gurudev there said, many people gave very scholarly lectures. And then Gurudev said, actually I think the gopis are the greatest scholars, but they're not interested in mundane scholasticism. They're always engaged in this direct Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Seva. They're not interested in expanding their own glories. Sometimes the problem is that when we try to make ourselves the representative and we're showing the teachings and philosophy, then how much of in our heart do we desire to glorify Gurudev, and how much is there desire in our heart for our own glorification? If there's some mixture, 10% for myself, 90 for Gurudev, then it's not pure bhakti. 50 for Gurudev, 50 for me, half-half. So really in anything we do, unless it's our only interest is in serving Gurudev and Vaishnav and pleasing them, then this is not real bhakti. First we have to come to the Sharanagati, and then we can enter real bhakti. So therefore we have to come to the stage of the 6th verse, and we'll just talk about this for a couple minutes and then we'll learn a new verse. So we'll start with this new format, which is that first we quickly revise, And then we do like 10-15 minute short class, up to 20 minutes at most, and then we learn a new verse 10-15 minutes. And then we break up the revision with the memorization. And some days we'll have a little less time, so we'll just memorize a new slok. We can be flexible also, but this will be the basic structure. So we learn this 6th verse. Vairagya yug bhakti rasam prayatne rapai yang mam anubip samandam kripam buddhaya paraduka duki sanatanam tam prabhumashrayami. I take shelter of Srila Sanatana Goswami, who is an ocean of mercy, who is so compassionate at the suffering of others that even though I did not desire this bhakti ras mixed with vairagya, even though I was blind and unwilling to accept this bhakti rasa, he forcefully gave it to me out of his great compassion. All right, so we're just going to finish this subject matter because it was very important and we didn't completely touch on every aspect. So, Vairagya Yug Bhakti Ras we discussed. We're not going to discuss again. But then Vairagya, we're going to discuss a little bit more about Vairagya. So we discussed about 2 sides. One is the negative side, one is the positive side. One is what we have to give up, one is what we have to adopt or follow. And then we discussed this analogy of as if we were on one side of a canyon and we want to get to the other side. And to get to the other side, we have to cross over a bridge. So we're now in this stage of calm and trapped in the cycle of karma. So we're bound by material self-interest or lust, and we want to achieve the realm of selfless love and dedication. That's called prem. And to get across, we have to cross the bridge of vairagya. So there's 2 sides of vairagya. One side we talked about is that, first of all, if we want to cross over a bridge, we have to develop a level of detachment from our previous state. So we have to want to leave behind where we were at. If we're still attached to where we were, then we won't be able to progress forward. So first we have to develop detachment from our past habits, our past attachments, desires, ideas, all these things. And then we can go forward. And each step we go forward, we have to give up the step behind us. So 2 verses of Upadeshamrita are very important about Vairagya. Okay, the first one is the 2nd verse, right? Atyahara prayasas cha prajalpaniyam agraha janasangas chaladyam cha sadbir bhakti vinasyachi. These 6 things destroy our inclination to do bhakti. So atyahar, over collection, through the senses, through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the mouth, the sense of touch. Always thinking about mundane things. The more we collect mundane things, the more our minds become bewildered by these things and bewitched by Maya. Krishna says in the Gita, Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyati tarisati taragantasi nirvedyam shrotavesya shrutasya cha. When you pass out of the forest of illusion, you become completely indifferent to everything that has been heard or will be heard of in this mundane world. You become completely indifferent. So this is a very important step of vairagya. We must develop indifference to the happenings of this world. The news of this world to us should hold no charm. What is happening in America, what is happening in China or Russia or India, the politics, if we become absorbed in this, we cannot progress in bhakti. Mahaprabhu was not worried about the state of India when it was overruled by Muslims. He was only following bhakti. And his bhakti was so powerful, nothing could stand in his way. So there's nothing for us to be afraid of also. But we don't want a material revolution, we want a spiritual revolution. And that revolution has to start in our own heart. So that's a very important thing. That this is a very difficult stage of vairagya. That people are attached to many different kinds of things in this world, movies and novels and anything we're absorbing our mind in that's not Krishna, Krishna Bhakti and related to that, ultimately is an obstacle. And it's very difficult to give up, but we must start to follow that process to some degree. Prabhupada Swami Maharaj would say, if your mind is 50% absorbed in Krishna and Bhakti, then you're 50% a devotee and 50% a demon. If you're 50% absorbed in Maya and material things, you're 50% a demon. So gradually we want to become more of a devotee. And if we become 60% a devotee, 40% a demon, then the devotee side will get more momentum and it can increase. It's called the Pareto principle. As we increase one side, then the odds of that side increasing more go up. So gradually, if we go up in our Krishna consciousness and down in our Maya consciousness, then we can go further and further and further and ultimately become 100% Krishna conscious. But in order to be able to get to that stage, we must be in sadhu sangha. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Without Sadhu Sangha, we cannot get perfection. Without Sadhu Sangha, we cannot get strength in spiritual life. Ekaki Amar, Nahi Pai Bal, Harinam Sankirtan. Tumi Kripa Kori, Shraddha Bindudiya, Deho Krishna Nam Dane. That we cannot do it alone. So that's why Sadhu Sangha is a required limb of bhakti in all different stages. And we can get Sadhu Sangha through books, but it's said that reading is not as beneficial as hearing and repeating. This is an important quote from Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. He said, just reading and taking association from the book is not as beneficial as hearing directly from the sadhu, meditating upon it and repeating it. Shravan and Kirtan. So some people say, oh, I have association with the books, that's enough. The book should give you impetus to take shelter of a living sadhu. And that sadhu sangha is very important. So that's another kind of vairagya. So on one side of vairagya, we're giving up unfavorable things. Okay? And the other side, which is, you can say more important, is that we're adopting favorable things. And that first favorable thing we must follow is sadhu sangha. Without sadhu sangha, we cannot give up what is unwanted, atyahar. And then the second one is prayasas. Prayasas means over-endeavor. So what does that mean? We shouldn't over-endeavor for material things unless it's directly instructed for us to do by Gurupad Padma. For example, some people think, I will preach everywhere. But is Gurudev directly giving you this instruction? If he is, then okay. But also in our preaching, we should make sure that we don't lose our bhajan. People will ask Gurudev, how do you balance your day? And Gurudev would say, in the morning, I get up very early, chant 64 rounds. And then I start my book seva, I meet with people, I give Harikatha, I interact with people. And the whole day is bhajan actually. Harikatha is also bhajan. But if we don't do the Harinam sadhan and the meditation, then externally when we're meeting with people, we won't be spiritually grounded enough. And then we'll get distracted and attached to these mundane people. Because they're also not perfect yet. So we have to chant Harinam properly. So we heard this example that one time Gurudev met with a man, a sannyasi preacher who was actually a Charya Guru, and Gurudev asked him, how is your bhajan? And he said, Gurudev, I'm so busy, I'm maintaining 70 centers, 80 centers, I have no time for bhajan. And Gurudev said, you should pray that in your next life, you'll be able to do bhajan and braj. So we have to remember, what is our goal? Rupa Goswami says, 8th verse. If you know it, you can say it along. Tannama rupa charitari sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasana manasinyo jatistan brajetat anuragi jananugami kalam nayet akilim iti upadeshasaram. The essence of all advice is that one should engage the mind, the body, the senses, all one's energies, all one's capacities in staying in braj. If not by body, then you must do it by mind. But it's very difficult by mind if you're in asat sangha. It's very, very difficult. If you're in the West, even in temples, how many people are 100% absorbed in braj? It's very difficult. If you have a high-class sadhu there, then it's possible. But really, Param Gurudev would say, even if you're outside preaching, you should come to the Dham 4 times a year. Rath Yatra, Kartik, Gaur Purnima, and Guru Purnima. You must come to the Dham and be in sadhu sangha. Otherwise, your spiritual batteries will dry up. So at least once a year, twice a year, devotees who are really serious should come and stay in the ashram and the Dham. And then they can progress. And that's our real goal. Not just external development, internal development. Okay? So prayasas means don't over-endeavor in external things that aren't really developing your real goal in life. Another example is Gop Kumar. We discussed this before. Gop Kumar, whenever he got distracted by mundane responsibilities, like he became a king, he became Indra, he became Brahma, whenever he got to do his own spiritual cultivation, his bhajan, his guru would come back and tell him, what are you doing? Why are you engaged in all these mundane responsibilities? Why aren't you doing your bhajan? Why aren't you chanting and absorbed in your mantras? This is all mundane and useless. It's all temporary. Only chant and absorb in your mantras and you can achieve perfection through that. So that's, prayasas means don't over-endeavor in mundane things. Then niyamagraha, don't over-follow and under-follow rules and regulations. Follow according to what the Vaishnavas do. If the Vaishnavas are doing something, then you should follow that example. And if they encourage you to do something, follow that. Don't speculate in your own mind. Okay? Janasanga, give up bad association. Janasangas, talodyam cha, give up mundane greed and develop spiritual greed. Otherwise, your desire to perform bhakti will wither and vanish. Okay, so that's the one side. Now, quickly we'll discuss the positive side. Utsaha nishchaya dharya tat karma pravartana sangha tyaga sadovrite sadbir bhakti prasiddhati. These things increase bhakti. So enthusiasm, determination, faith, fortitude, following all different kinds of activities that are favorable. Tat karma pravartana. Again, giving up bad association and following good association. These things increase bhakti. So just to conclude, what should we do more of? Should we just sit in our room and chant and try to do bhajan, or should we do Guru Seva? Okay? Both things are important, but only if we understand that our Harinam and our bhajan is Guru Seva will it really benefit us. If we think this Harinam is for myself, then it's not really benefiting us. Harinam is first Guru Seva because Gurudev gave Harinam. And we're respecting Gurudev and he instructed us to chant Harinam, so we chant Harinam. But we also understand that's Guru Seva. Sarva sadhana mukyahi Guru Seva sadadrata ya bhaktir bhagavati yanjasa sukhavaka. That the greatest means to achieve perfection of all kinds of sadhana is Guru Seva. And you quickly get perfection and it's a very easy and happy process. So therefore, we must take up responsibility. That's what I want to say about Vairagya. Vairagya is not just renouncing things. I'm detached, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to sit in a cave and lock myself in a cave and I won't relate and interact with the world. No, the most important thing is Guru Seva, and that means responsibility. And what is that responsibility? What can I do to please my Gurudev? What does my Gurudev desire? And for that, I'm ready to give up my life. He said, Prana Chejar Stehetu Prachar. When we have this force of determination that I'm ready to do anything for Gurudev, I'll give up my life for Gurudev, then that becomes Guru Seva. And then whatever, like Prabhuji, the more we're absorbed in Guru Seva, then the more we'll be absorbed in Guru Pad Padma and Braj. And when we're always thinking of Guru Pad Padma is also a Manjari of Srimati Radhika. And so we meditate on him, then he connects us to our Nitya Seva. When I was working on Guru Darshan, it was very difficult and so much work. And I told Prabhuji, when I'm done, I just want to be peaceful and every day chant 64 rounds and do bhajan, attend all artis, kirtan, and do like seva, like cooking. And he said, now you're doing Guru Seva. This is the most important thing. So that's why we always need to be under guidance of Guru and Vaishnavas, Anugatya, under guidance, and then they can tell us what is proper, what is improper. If they say to us, this is your Guru Seva, then you should do that without any doubt. Like Ramanujacharya Sevak. He served a householder family like a menial slave for years without any complaint, knowing that this is my Guru Seva. So this is the most important thing. So real Vairagya, real renunciation means I take up responsibility to serve my Gurudev. And I don't care about anything else. The whole world may be on one side and I'm on the other, but I will serve my Gurudev, even if everyone is against me. When we have this kind of Guru Nishta, then this is real Vairagya. And that means we have to give up other things. We cannot be the slave and servant of other people. We can have one master, we have our Guru Pad Padma, and whatever he wants for us, we will do that. When he sees our loyalty and dedication, then he will grant us entrance into our Braj Seva. Otherwise, we have no chance to enter Braj Seva unless Guru is pleased with us. So by doing Guru Seva, we completely satisfy the heart of Guru. We see in this famous recording of Gurudev speaking at Prabhuji's house when he wasn't there to his family. Gurudev said, he has taken up all responsibility, he's maintaining all the temples and he's qualified and he's doing everything to please me. He said, I know him very deeply and very intimately and he is a real Vaishnav, and if you want to be a Vaishnav, you must follow him. And he said, there are many others, but they are not doing service like him. They are not taking responsibility. And he said, a person with no responsibility is like an animal, like with no tail or no horns, but like a donkey. So our goal is that we want to take responsibility for Guru Seva, and we understand that is real Vairagya. Vairagya means, Prabhuji says there's two models. One is like a renunciant who just lives in the cave or in the forest, not doing anything and just meditating. On the other side, you have Yashoda Mata. He said Yashoda Mata doesn't renounce anything. Why? She takes full responsibility for Krishna Seva. All paraphernalia, all ingredients she maintains nicely. If I am always attached and renounce, a book, the cartels go missing, the mridanga is broken, I don't care, it's not my responsibility. I'm renounced. Then Prabhuji will say, you are useless now. Now you are Acharya party, now you are outside of Braj. But no, anything in the temple is my responsibility. That's real vairagya. Because if we just renounce everything, that fosters laziness. Oh, I'm just renounced. So we want to renounce the bad things, but we never renounce anything that's good. Like if you do a cleanse for your body, you want to get rid of bad toxins, bad bacteria, but not good bacteria. If you get rid of everything, then you also become more sick. So we want to cultivate the spiritual side and then starve the material side. So it will get weaker and weaker and ultimately disappear or fall away. Okay, but the best way to do that is taking responsibility for Guru Seva. So we'll stop with that. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasinabhyo vacha pititanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.